Hey there, lovely Ascension pioneers. Welcome to another session of questions and answers from Ascension pioneers from me to you. Anyway, last week I launched my new webpage, www.ascension-pioneers.com. I hope to see you there. I write blogs there. I answer these same questions and answers there as well, but in a more profound, more in-depth sort of manner. I hope you check that out as well. I also put all my videos there and all my automatic writings and much more. So I hope to stay in touch. Anyway, I decided to make another session like this, questions and answers, because I received so many now, Ever since I started doing the webpage, even more started pouring in, and be patient with me, okay? As I'm going to go through all these answers. I can't answer all at the same time. Because I like to answer them in depth, and it takes time to do that. Because when I write, writing is my channel, I source all these details in a more profound way. So, because a lot of individuals are asking me questions, some more general and some more personal, it takes time to connect to spirit and write all that down. So, I hope you can bear with me, okay? Anyway, what's new this week? We have a beautiful week of newness and freshness starting because tomorrow we have spring equinox, fall equinox in the other, part of the hemisphere. And we have a new moon on March 22nd. So new beginnings, all the way through. And many astrologers say that so many planets are now in Aries. And, Aries is like new beginnings, new astrology year, and just, moving, marching forward, being bold and daring. And so many say that. And I see that myself. Last week we had the Grand Trine, and they say, manifest all that you can. And it was good for me because I manifested, finally created my webpage and I launched it. And I had my radio interview on Everyday Connection. And I hope you were listening, you were tuning in. It was a beautiful show. Funny also, we talk about everything from ascension to being authentic. And you can also see the link to that on my webpage. I posted the news about the radio show. So anyway, besides all this newness happening right now, and I feel many feel it, many are speaking about it, and just, I have to say it's just a beginning. So many new things are happening, like that new building being done. If you hear that noise, that's workers tearing down the old building and making a new one. It's very loud, but, see? Another sign that things are, starting from scratch. Some of them really basically from scratch, because we had to literally remove away everything, all the access. Why? I spoke about this yesterday when I was writing things, blogging on my Facebook page. And I was talking to a friend, and she was saying something. And so many people ask me now, am I on the right path? What is this path? What are the steps that I'm supposed to take? I need to define my mission a bit more. And whenever you feel that way, whenever you think that you need to define your mission, you limit yourself, because you are your mission. There's not a separate thing. So if you think in terms that, you want to label yourself, such as I'm a house builder, for instance, I'm an ascension pioneer, I'm a guide, you limit yourself to all the possibilities that you truly are, to all that is open to you. For instance, if that goes away in your life for some particular reason, you will be quite misfortunate, wouldn't you, Because whenever we associate and limit ourselves to a certain particular thing, it's not what we wanted. And, truth is basically very simple. And I've been talking about this yesterday, and I said, humanity was the one that distorted the truth. The truth in its core is very sacred, pure, and very simplistic. And we need to go back to that simplicity, in our lives. We need to simplify our lives to see the grander truth, because the grander truth is the simple one, not the earthly truth, and our personal truth that's, tend to be very complicated sometimes. We tend to seek all these excuses for the things that we do or don't do, and just, keep having this sense, for instance, of self-righteousness and things like that. And, in spiritual community, we see a lot of the battle of who's right, who's wrong, he or she said, and things like that, which is really not of unconditional self-love and love for all others and acceptance and respect. This is when we need to shift, in to move forward. And this new energy now, these new energies are bringing this to us. They're shifting, our perspectives. If we are willing to shift them anyway. And yesterday, as I promised, I'll be writing weekly blogs, and I wrote a blog about this. I mentioned a bit how these new energies work. And I also described, for instance, when many people say, these new energies are so intense, what's happening? They're so intense, they're so heavy. But the thing is, whenever someone says that, it's just an individual perspective, because the new energies, they're not actually those who are heavy. The old, denser energies that are being purified, while the new ones are anchoring here on the planet, these energies we feel, and these, we might say, are heavy. And if you're an empath and very open, if you have purified all your lower bodies to a certain extent that you're very pure, you will feel all that is impure in your surroundings. That's what's happening with so many pure beings right now on the planet. They can literally feel and sense everything. And also, it might be the case that if you are a very still operating in low frequencies, and the new energies that are very high in frequency might cause this reaction for you to feel that they're heavy, but they're not heavy. They're just intense, okay? So this is, again, just a personal perspective. And we need to discern between these things, what is actual truth and what is just our own perspective, Okay, now I want to start getting more deeper into the subjects. I'll open this text that I wrote and just a short, brief thing. Okay, I spoke about my blog. Do check that out, because I mentioned what is going on and speak a bit more general what we're going through, I'll speak about that more now. Okay, so many now ask me about this ascension path, and they say, please, will you help me to discover, am I on the right path? I will speak about this more, but just in brief, to let you know, as long as you still think there's wrong or right, that you can actually make wrong steps in your life, you still have not shifted in the perspective that there is no wrong steps, and that there cannot, you can never not be on the right path. Because there's this freedom of being that allows your soul to choose whatever timeline, whatever outcome, whatever, it's free to choose. And within that choosing, you can choose whatever you wish, and there is no wrong path. For instance, if you compare yourself to someone else who has their own journey, then you might see or think, oh, I'm not experiencing the same thing, so therefore, oh, maybe I'm not on the right path. If I don't have the same ascension symptoms, if I don't, read the same things, if I don't, talk about the same things, because the people that I really talk to, that really resonate with me, we don't even talk about those things. I speak about this to you because this is what I do. I'm an ascension guide. I'm not that, but, this is what I do. But I'm not what I do. That's all I want to say. So these people that really, resonate with the higher octaves, we don't have to speak about these things. We don't have spiritual concepts, and tossing and turning around and, passing this ball, between each other. We don't do that. We just talk about how we feel. We talk about how we feel within this process. And the more you shift to the perspective that you are in your path, you're on your individual path, and you're always in the right path for you. Because comparison creates duality. It creates this thing that you have to be where someone else is, or that you have to go through the same experiences. No. We are all moving towards the same kind of, it's not a destination, but your same point of upliftment, the leap jump of the planet and the consciousness. But we're doing it in a unique, individualized way. And I keep stressing this because it cannot be more stressed. Because a lot of the people are still comparing themselves to a certain outcome, to a certain event, to how things are supposed to be to a certain extent. But it's not how it is. So moving into higher octaves, the blog also that I was writing about, means that you become aware, you become self-aware. And you don't have to ask someone else if you're in the right path. You see that being confirmed to you through spirit, And what is happening now, our higher inner knowing, our knowingness, this is called knowingness, is being activated. And I've also been talking about this in my blog. What's happening is that we're shifting from the more psychic energy, so to say, the third eye energy, our sight and hearing, to the energy of the heart, which is spiritual energy. And this is called the heart knowing. And this is connected through our heart chakra, even the galactic heart center that is kind of like here. And through our, crown opening. And this is like connected. It's flowing. All these channels are flow. I don't know how to explain this in a more 3D kind of sense. But this is more the gateway that we're opening. And these, this leads to inner source knowing and just source fusion and connection. But before, many psychics and people who had these spiritual abilities, they say spiritual abilities, but they're actually psychic abilities. Spiritual abilities are those of the heart, when you just know, and by knowing you feel. This is called, we're shifting from sight and hearing to knowing and feeling. So this is being done through activating our cell memory. We're activating our cell memory. We're activating our divine remembrance. This is done, as I've explained in my previous videos, through our light DNA being activated. Those light codes of remembrance stored in every cell of our body, because it's like a hologram. You know, a holographic universe, every cell has the memory of all the cells and of all. That's what we are, the mini universe within the grander universe. So while this is happening, we're shifting templates from the old to the new. And many people who might ask themselves, I don't have these psychic gifts. I don't hear, I don't see, I don't either. But this was never on my path for a reason, because my knowings were more here, inner knowing. This is the area of this, and the feeling is here. And when you integrate the both, you have both. It's like constant flow. So many people who ask themselves this question will receive answers if they really connect that this is exactly how it's supposed to be, because anything of the external world can still be manipulated. And there's a lot of manipulation still going on here on this planet. If you're really coming back to your empowerment and your discernment, you will activate inner knowingness. And therefore, once you are in that zone, you can no longer be manipulated. That's why I said, and even I said it on the radio show that I was on, I said a lot of the people are now activating their, so to say, bullshit detectors. This is what is happening. Okay, and while this is shifting, our inner template is changing. We are changing from within to without. The outer world and reality can also change and is changing, you know. So what is changing? You know, everything in our lives, everything from our diet, everything from our relationships, and, you know, everything. It's all interconnected. So some are doing it more faster, some, you know, maybe more slower, but this rate is what you have chosen on a soul level. So there is no right path, wrong path, you know, right pace, wrong pace, missing an opportunity, or, you know, catching it. No, no, no. It's nothing like that. You can never miss an opportunity. There are tinier cycles within the grander cycles. That's why if you don't take the tiny, you know, leap jumps, you will take the bigger ones. That's why maybe it will seem harder for you, but there will always be the next jump and the next and the next. This is the universal law of cycling, you know, spiral of spirit. Okay, about the new relationships, I need to say this. There's a lot of people who write to me about relationships, how many things are changing, what they're feeling. The thing is, a lot of the people are meeting their true mirrors. It's not just twin flame relationships, because I've even read this in the book from the founders. They say a lot of the people who think they're in a twin flame relationships are basically not, because they mistake soulmate connections for a twin flame, or a certain fragment of the soul for an actual twin flame reunion. This is happening, a lot of manipulation of this area, because why? Why not give humanity this, you know, this myth that there's this twin flame that you have to seek on the outer to, you know, be really whole and complete? You are. Of course, there's this other part of soul that is you, and we were created this way. You know, this was our first separation from source, and I always say this, but how it is presented here on earth, how many teachers speak about this? It's not the way it is. And there's a lot of higher knowing still missing, and we need to activate that from our cell memory, this divine remembrance of the true twin flame counterpart. So many people might mistake that, because what is actually a soulmate? A soulmate does not belong to your same soul group, and your soul group belongs to the same oversoul. So a soulmate is someone from a particular other group who is sharing a certain similar timeline, is on a similar part of the journey. And when someone is in a completely different part of the journey, for instance, someone completely unawakened, completely in the old, that is more like the karmic kind of thing. Although we are moving from karmic to soulmate relationships, and through those soulmate relationships, climbing back on the ladder of love, we are once again merging first within us with our twin flame counterpart. And if it is meant to be for us, also in physical. And that is all that is about, and the truth is very simple. But a lot of the channelings are making it complicating, and it's not how it is. So do not seek on the outer. I still will keep repeating that. Find this truth within. Observe every relationship as an important part of you. What is it teaching you? What is it showing you? Is there a certain shadow self of you that you don't want to embrace yet? Because if you don't, you know, the shadow will just keep growing. For instance, there are certain people who do not get what the lessons are being, you know, that they're being presented to them are, but that shadow will remain. You know, it will keep haunting them. It will keep staying there. It does not go away if you don't embrace it and pour love and unconditional acceptance into it. So what is happening? A lot of the people are now healing those wounded cores. Our true core, our true essence is pure, and it's pure divine love. But you need to know, without that unconditional love, self-acceptance and respect for self and therefore others, because you cannot respect others if you don't respect the self, and so on. This is an, integrated thing. It's interconnected. You cannot, you cannot move into a space of experiencing divine love. And what is the thing? I had this old video that, later I deleted my videos, but I explained the difference between unconditional love and divine love. The unconditional self-love on this plane is a gateway to experiencing divine love, which is pure beingness, which is your essence. And there you can meet your twin flame within you and also in the outer. This is a relationship that mirrors pure source to you. All the other relationships are still teaching you about this unconditional love. But twin flame love is pure source love. It's neutral divine love. It's, the two that create the third. So therefore, you need to become aware that all these old things that keep resurfacing with these relationships are needed to be healed. And that's why a lot of people come on our path and we exchange certain energies. And it's good. Every relationship brings to us an opportunity to grow and extend and take a new leap jump forward. And if you say, no, nothing wrong with me, I have it all figured out, then, well, guess what? The shadow will keep remaining. It will be, mirrored in another individual. This is the gift that we bring to each other, because sometimes relationships are the fastest way to trigger that, mirror within us, to make us see where these patterns might still lie on, So people write to me a lot, and I see that many still try to control others. You say, I'm trying to awaken others, I'm trying to do that. No. When you truly are awakened yourself, you don't do that. So first awaken yourself, okay? When you truly are awake, awakening means starting to awaken to divine love that is. It's not just the informational awakening that's going on the planet. Not just about reading about things. When you truly experience divine love. When you start experiencing yourself as divine love. Because the thing is, without unconditional love, there is no gateway to divine love. And without the experience of divine love, you cannot know it. Everything we know through experiencing it. It doesn't have to be an experience like you imagine it in the physical, encounter a certain person or a certain event needs to happen to you. No, the feeling of it needs to flow through you. Okay? And you don't know these things if you don't experience them. It's not enough to just know about them in the mind. You need to experience them. And that's when the real awakening begins. So all these old ways, old paradigms, old relationships, when people start trying to control one another and say, why don't you do that? I don't resonate with what you do. I don't, you don't listen to one another. You don't allow them to just be. Because what is the thing? If we don't allow things to just be, we block the energy flow of things really flowing in divine flow. This is the nature of life. Everything, is circulating. But we stop that circulation the moment we try to control something, the moment we have an agenda with someone, the moment we have the attachment, the moment we dislike something. But when we truly learn to accept and embrace everything as it is, things that we don't like might disappear. Everything might change because we learn to accept it and embrace it. Therefore, we are infusing it with our core essence of our soul. And that's when true energy starts to move, because this is the basic energetic law. It's how energy works. The moment you define it, the moment you control it, the moment you attach to it, you stop the block. You make the block and you stop the influx, of this energy, and you stop the circulation. Okay? And a lot of the people still have that wounded core, and especially male energy is very wounded on the planet. That's why now so much of the divine feminine is anchoring on the planet and the balance is being made. So a lot of the energies of pride, of dominance, of conquering, of, trying to push your beliefs and opinions onto another. This pride energy is very deeply rooted, very, very, just this dense pattern. And what is happening, in these patterns? The thing is, we need to understand we're all healing, not just ourselves in our own patterns, because when you get this body, you get a lot of the old eons and eons of old fears through your physical DNA, which you inherit through your parents and through the ancestors, they go way beyond, through your bloodline. And you're healing that bloodline, you're healing the patterns of the ancestors, you're healing all of it. And a lot of the old is being healed that way through new souls that came here as volunteers. And there are very brave souls who are healing all these patterns. And when you recognize it and you don't feel that it's coming from your soul, you feel that it's coming more from this physical dense body that you have, embrace it. Don't try to push or negate this pattern and say, this is not mine. It's yours just because you've chosen this role. You've chosen to play this part. You've chosen to do the healing, which is holding, coming back into a complete state of wholeness that you are as a being. So we're all doing this. So when you're healing your individualized DNA, your individualized body, all your lower bodies, physical, mental, emotion, and so on, you are also giving the collective opportunity to heal itself. Not by wanting to heal it or controlling others. No, no, no. Everyone is responsible only for the self. Okay? This is what is happening. So we're all genetically healing so many things. This is now happening in the collective, want it or not. That's why so many of the old is resurfacing. So many of those wounded, sticky, dense energies. The more neutral you become, the more you see this from a higher perspective, and won't deny or negate the pattern. You will just see it. You will smile at it, and you will just transcend it through sending in love and acceptance. And you won't identify yourself with it. It's as easy as that. It truly is. And it can be easy in your journey. It's not always an easy path because you have chosen quite a difficult task for yourself, but you have chosen it. And everyone is choosing on a soul level. You need to remember that. There is no, what is this happening to me? No more victimized state. No more victim consciousness. You have chosen everything. You've chosen to incarnate in this body to heal certain things. And you've chosen to transcend this, to move into the new, to anchor new template. That's why the new energies are anchoring the planet. And every single time we get new influx of energies, we get major triggered, many things are happening, but then we integrate and ground these energies. That's why grounding is so much of importance right now. Being outside in nature, grounding yourself. I always do it in the mountains. I always go out. I need to escape to my beautiful mountains and to my beautiful meadows, pristine nature. This is my sanctuary. And the important fact here is that for me, even mountains triggered a lot of the fears, for instance. And I said, where's this fear coming from? I had this kind of like, if I fall in the hole or something and I'm being trapped, I'm feeling trapped, and causes some weird energies. I panic a bit. And when I ask myself, where's this old fear coming from? It's not from me, but I embrace it. I say, wow, I'm healing it through experiencing it and seeing it and pouring love into it, because I'm not these panics or fears. You see, it's happening with everyone. No matter how neutral you are, even when you transcend, these old patterns might still come back, but you will see them differently. You raise your frequency, you raise your vibration, and you react differently. You more respond to them. You shed love. And that's why solar activity, I've been asked about this as well. Solar activity helps with this as well. It helps with this collective purging and this DNA healing and new mutating human being, being able to remerge. So my final thing that I would like to add now is some of the thoughts on substances, because probably the most people ask me about marijuana and substances like that. I don't know why, but I guess this is just quite a popular subject out there. Many ask me whether that is the energy of light, of the dark. Is it helping? Is it not helping? I have a very simple take on that okay? When I was younger, I tried marijuana, but I could never inhale. I don't know how it feels to be stoned, so to say. It was not on my path. I did not need to experience that. So physical experiences with marijuana I cannot give you. The thing is, I always knew, even when I tried cigarettes, yuck, disgusting. No, I could never get used to such things. It was disgusting to me. Also alcohol. These things all carry lower energy. No matter how some say that marijuana opens you up, opens your channels, well, guess what? Marijuana works in two ways, has two effects. One is to open you up, but then when you stop smoking or stop using it, you fall down back again. And this is the thing with all substances. Alcohol, the same way. Also tobacco, smoking, the same thing. You feel elevated when you're doing it, but when you don't do it, why so many people, become drunk addicts, alcohol addicts, pardon me. Because when they don't do it, they have this, crisis. And whatever causes this crisis when you pull away from the thing, it's attachment. It's energetic attachment, but it's not always just the physical attraction or attachment to the drug or substance or whatever. It's the energetical attachment to it. And these substances can show us where we still have these attachments. Whatever you still feel, even if it's just sugar, that you need to have it, that you need this input in your body, it's still an attachment. Because you need to understand we're like an onion, we have levels. If you look at things just from the physical level, you don't understand the whole picture. Then you need to look at all the other energetic levels as well. Where are emotional attachments here? Where are mental attachments here? Where are thoughts being programmed here about this thing? And drugs for me are only good in the way of showing us this. Because if something works in a way to open you up at first and you see these all new ideas and whatever, then you bring back that to earth. You cannot, because these drugs don't help you integrate and activate that inner knowing within you. They don't help with that, with grounding your essence here. They might open you up, like I've explained in my video about inner outer body, astral travel. It can open you up to experiencing it in new realms and astral or whatever, but it does not help you in raising your awareness. Marijuana does not help you with raising your awareness. It only helps you with seeing maybe other perspectives. That's why these drugs, for me, I see them as only good for maybe someone if it is on their path to awaken to this new level. But as long as when you already have the experience, but you still do it, you still did not get it. You still do something that is not leading somewhere, does not produce any results, because everything you do, you need to do with awareness. And if you're doing it without the awareness, you're just hurting yourself. You're causing more harm than, the positive things in your life. Because most people who smoke marijuana don't transcend. They become, I knew some people back in high school, this girl that smoked, she became like a bum, she was like a total mess. It really did not influence her because she was not doing it in awareness it's like the first point, she was not doing it in an aware state. And the second of all, it's marijuana still. And now they're going to legalize it here. And the thing is that every single thing has two sides of the same coin, the good, the bad. This is the world of duality. So if you're aware enough, you can do it more with awareness. But the thing here is that there's this paradox here. When you become more aware, you don't need to do it anymore. For instance, I could smoke marijuana because I'm aware enough, but I don't feel the need to just because I am aware enough. Do you see where I'm going? So my answer would be, it's neither light, neither dark energy. It's just a means of, it's just this means that maybe serves some people to see some things, but it's like this point of transition, something like that. It's not a thing that you keep doing and you keep doing. If you keep doing it, you did not get it. It has not taught you the lesson. For instance, when shamans go and they take these plants that cause them to have this experience, they don't just do that all the time. They probably don't just eat those plants, just have, keep drugging themselves. Because you have to know everything that is in nature, as in plants and things like that, does not serve a purpose for you to eat it or to smoke it or to inhale it in any kind of way. There are also some plants here that are not edible. For instance, some are quite poisonous, and there's a plant here that some people were mistaking for something else and they ate it and they literally died. So think about it. Become aware, Oh, I also need to answer one more question. Someone asked me about the other side of the veil. I'll really make a long answer about this on my webpage. But he said, when someone dies, they go to the other side of the veil, right? The other side of the veil is the fourth dimension, right? Right and wrong. It's fourth dimension if you are in that state of reincarnation wheel. But you have to know, there's so many souls, and all from a different segment of the journey, from a different spiraling of the spirit. Not all go. You always go back. You need to know this. You always go back. When you drop your vehicle, you go back to the level where you belong at, when you're already activated on that level. So if you are not activated beyond the fourth, you will go back to the fourth, yes. But the other side of it, the veil, is not how people say it is. It's not either the fourth, and it's not how some people say you go back to God. No, you go back to your belonging frequency, to your spirit school that you belong to. Here's an earthly school, planetary school, and there's spirit school there. And you continue your teaching, your learning, just in a different way. And this is a very profound subject, and I'll explain this more in my question and answer section. Until then, keep updated, keep subscribed or whatever to my page, my Facebook page, and I'll talk to you really soon. Have a beautiful week of newness and freshness, everyone. Take care. Bye.